I mean, talking about it on a different level, on the governorship level, we have, Gavin, who is facing a recall that might cost California something like $400 million, but I guess we've got budget surplus, even though I can't get my unemployment check. But no, but so what do you make? What do you make of this recall? And then we can talk about housing and eviction moratoriums and such, but just this recall stuff. Does it have a chance of success? Do we have to go through with this? Will Caitlyn succeed?
Nato, you want to take a stab at that first? I have a lot to say, but I want to hear Nato.
Oh, I mean, I think it's unlikely that Newsom is going to actually get recalled. I think the recall is going to happen. That's the current. I mean, that's what it looks like. And I mean, to some extent, it's, I feel like there's a sort of creepy wave of recalls. Like there's a recall, and it's really coming out of like the sort of wingy, like right wing sort of QAnon vibe. But like it's not just Newsom, but there are progressive reformer district attorneys in San Francisco and Los Angeles that are facing recall threats now. Like it's become a thing of like the right to not just say like, we're gonna vote you out next time. Or we're going to go to the ballot to block your agenda, but we're going to try to shut down the entire political system. So it's another feature of I feel like the current crisis of our democracy.
Yeah.
That's my grouchy answer. And Randy economy needs to keep working.
I'm very grouchy about the recall because labor, which is probably the biggest funder for progressive campaigns and ballot measures, is spending all of their $22 million in 2021, which means that we can't run something like a wealth tax in 2022, or it's much more difficult to run one. And I'm annoyed because Gavin's going to win this recall, and we're just going to spend millions of dollars to keep him there for literally one more year. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's my big issue with the recall is that all these folks are putting these candidates on recall like a year before their term is up. Just give them the 4 years and invest your dollars in preventing their reelection the following year. Right. And, the one thing I'll say is that, no one did a good job during COVID-19. Let's just say that out loud. Like, what did we expect from our political leaders? We've never faced anything like this before. And I'm not saying that people couldn't have done better. Right. And there were definitely people that really skirted their duties, right, during COVID-19. But I would say the vast majority of our public health officials, our mayors, our governors, they did their best. And we lost a lot of lives. It was really heartbreaking. And political leaders had never faced anything like this before. Right. So the stream of people wanting to recall everyone for doing a bad job during COVID. I mean, come on. Right. That's kind of a little bit of my opinion on that. But, back to 2022, I think we've really lost the opportunity to fund some really important ballot measures. And I know I keep wanting to come back to the wealth tax, but, Assemblymember Alex Lee, who was another progressive win in November 2020, ran as a DSA candidate, surprisingly came in first place in his primary, skated to the November 2020 election, and is now introducing all of these super progressive bills at the state legislature. And by the way, there's about 3 super progressive legislatures out of 120 members of the state legislature. That is a big problem. And I want to make the California state legislature sexy. I want more people to care about the state legislature than Congress, because our California state legislature passes 2 to 3 times as many bills as Congress on any given year. And on most issues that we think about, sentencing reform, criminal justice, climate change, climate change is federal and state, public education, frankly, access to reproductive health care. Most of this happens at the state level. It happens in 50 states across America. And the Republicans have already gotten that because they control the vast majority of the state houses across the country. And we need to do the same. And even though we have a super majority of Democrats on the California state legislature, the vast majority of them are business-friendly moderate Dems. And we We absolutely have to change that. So I want to see a justice stems for the California state legislature. We can do better than 3 solidly progressive legislators at the state.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the Bitchuation Room podcast live stream. And while you're here, why don't you just subscribe to this channel? I promise it'll be good.